What's good, way? Welcome back to another episode of Crypto and the Caribbean, the show where we pry just enough into people business to put some pieces together for ourselves, but not get sued. I'm your host, L, and today I got 3 stories that I wanted to dig into a little bit for y'all. First one we got right here is Jamaica with their CBDC. We talked about it a bit last week. With the whole DEX situation and the issuing of the logo. Today's story is actually going to be talking about apparently an airdrop that they got going on. We can see. Second story is actually out of Trinidad and Tobago. Apparently their central bank has officially made their stance clear on where they stand with cryptocurrencies on the whole. And they even gave us some insight into their future plans for TNT CBDC. Try to say that 5 times fast. And the last story is FTX. FTX doing something else in Nassau. I mean, it's FTX. You already know what that means by this point. So, yeah, man, let's get started. Story out the gate. The Jamaica CBDC DEX. Apparently, the Jamaican central bank is issuing an airdrop to early adopters of their DEX CBDC token. Now, what that means, in normal cases, when you talk about an airdrop, in most of these crypto projects, or in the crypto space, I should say, an airdrop is normally associated with newer projects or experimental projects, I guess you could call them. Basically, the early investors or the people who supported or paid money or bought into whatever the project or art or product, whatever it is, if they paid or supported earlier on as a part of showing their appreciation for that support, the developers or the creators of the token, the project, whatever it is, they reward them by giving them or airdropping them some tokens or some kind of asset that they in turn normally just either hold because they see some intrinsic value in it, or just turn around and sell. In most cases, there's an immediate retail market and people end up selling whatever that airdrop token was. So pretty much airdrops have been synonymous with free money. So specifically with the DEX, Jamaican central bank to airdrop DEX CBDC to early adopters. Now, what they're saying here is that the first 1,000 Jamaican citizens to use the country's new CBDC or DEX will be given a free $16 payment in hopes of promoting widespread adoption. Now, just so that everyone here has context, that's $16 US. And the local currency in Jamaica is the Jamaican dollar. So that's 16 USD to JMD. So this is how much Jamaican dollars they're offering through the DEX CBDC. 16 US, 24.47 and some change Jamaican dollars. Now it also points out a bit later down here that a report showed approximately 17% of the Jamaican population is currently underbanked. 17% unbanked, not underbanked, unbanked, my bad. At the same time, the report also pointed out that remaining unbanked is both costly and time consuming for poorer Jamaicans. So for the lower income Jamaicans, being unbanked, which basically means you have no ties to a I guess certified financial institution, you have no bank account, you have no ties to any institution in that financial structure, it's costly and time consuming because in most cases, well, I guess in all the cases, you would be primarily cash based. So they're saying here that they hope that this new payment incentive, that's $16, they hope that will encourage low and middle income citizens to join the national banking system. Also important to note, the Jamaican Finance Minister Nigel Clark said in a speech to the country's House of Representatives on Wednesday that DEX must achieve widespread adoption by citizens and their businesses in order to be successful. So he pretty much saying, bro, is all or nothing. We got to get everyone on board with this. Everyone has to be fully on board for this to I guess to successfully launch, to successfully run in the country. So coming down a bit more here, they talk about China being one of the first countries to announce development of a CBDC, but Caribbean countries have actually been the leaders in not just the adoption, but the implementation of these CBDCs. We know about the sand dollar, the one in the Bahamas. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank rolled out their own CBDC, DCash, and had it in 8 different member countries. Even though surprisingly here, I wasn't even really aware of this, but apparently DCash had actually crashed back in January 14, so earlier this year. It crashed and it was down for about 2 months. They didn't announce that it was fully functional again until earlier this same week, so earlier on Wednesday. So what, Wednesday would have been what, the 9th? So that's almost exactly 2 months that DCash was just down. And that was supposed to be the central bank digital currency for the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. So things looking iffy. That's all I say. It's just, you know. What do you all think about it? Let me know what you think about the payment itself. A lot of people are saying that this $16 is kind of it feels like they're trying to bribe the citizens to come on board with this. They're trying to grease some palms to get the wheels rolling, but let me know what you think. I have my opinions, but I'm not gonna say all of them here. You can find me on Twitter, but I ain't gonna say all of them here because, you know, this is a platform. You don't want to get sued, and you know, I don't really want to cross no one I might end up working with later. Because I gotta be honest, you know what they say when they get to writing them checks. If that check clear, I will disappear. But for real though, let me know what you think down in the comments. Next up, news from the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago. So apparently their central bank, and I kind of late to this, they talked about this a few weeks ago, but I wanted to bring it up because while we're on the topic of CBDCs and central banks from Jamaica, over in TNT, apparently the central bank clarified their stance on cryptocurrencies, allowing the citizens to freely purchase cryptocurrencies and use commercial banks as the middleman for their on-ramps. And they even gave us a little bit of insight into what their plans are for CBDC for TNT in the future. So let's take a look. So the headline, Central Bank on Cryptocurrencies, no restrictions on purchases. So they're saying that the TNT Central Bank said last week that it is not blocking commercial banks from selling foreign exchange to their customers to purchase cryptocurrencies. A lot of this is some extra stuff, but long story short, to summarize most of this and all of these links, I'll make sure that we get them down in the description below so that you guys could come through, read these articles for yourselves if you feel like it. I know most people probably won't, but yeah, I'll put them down there too for you to really dig into them some more. But essentially, many citizens of TNT were saying that they weren't able to use their banks or the commercial banks to purchase cryptocurrencies because, as you know, you need that. Crypto is open for everyone to use, but you still need that on-ramp. You still need some vehicle for you to get from your fiat, which is your local currency, to that digital currency. And in most cases here in the US, we have way too many options, from Cash App, I ain't gonna say Coinbase, Gemini, Uphold, like it's so many ways for us to do it, but these aren't always available in many countries throughout the Caribbean region. So right here, several people have complained to the Sunday Express about the difficulty of accessing foreign exchange from local commercial banks to purchase Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Asked last week if the central bank had directed or suggested that commercial banks not release foreign exchange to customers to purchase crypto, a spokesperson for the bank said, while there are currently no legal restrictions on such investments or a specific directive to commercial banks, the Central Bank Securities and Exchange Commission and the Financial Intelligence Unit in TNT strongly advise on the large risk inherent in investment in cryptocurrencies. So like I said earlier, they basically saying, look, we didn't tell these banks not to let y'all do this, even though people were complaining that they were having issues getting the foreign currency to buy the crypto. They're saying, look, it ain't us telling them to do this. That's on them. Our rules do not make this illegal. It isn't on us. Coming down a bit more. See here. As it stands, most commercial banks in TNT do not allow the purchase of crypto except for Republic Bank. So it looks like the general manager here said that the bank facilitates the purchase of cryptocurrencies because it is not illegal, but it is just risky. That risk, however, is borne by the customer and not the bank. That's what I like to see. I like that. I really like that, because at the end of the day, this is the most important part. And this is the part that a lot of people miss out on when they come into this space, when they come into the crypto space. The risk is borne by the customer, not the bank. All of this comes back to you taking full responsibility for your assets security, and how you handle that day to day throughout your life. The purpose of crypto at its core was for us to get away from these centralized entities, to get away from us relying on others to hold our money, to spend our money, to do everything for us or on our behalf. That's what it is at its core. So I commend Republic Bank for being one of the only ones, it looks like, to actually stand out and be like, look, it ain't illegal. If y'all want to buy it, do what y'all got to do. It's y'all money, but just, let you know it's risky. I respect that. I could respect that. Continues on here. We're not trading in crypto. We're not selling people Bitcoin or Ethereum. What we're doing is allowing persons, not companies, but individuals who want to use their credit cards to purchase it. If they sell their investment in the cryptocurrency, the returns that they get can be deposited into their bank accounts, she said. That's wonderful. What's your name? Denise Oh, I don't want to mess it up, man. I know for sure this is Denise. I could try Ramnarine. I hope I get it right. Please, if I didn't get it right, I deeply apologize. If I did get it right, I bad. But wonderfully said. Miss Denise, wonderfully said. Much respect. I gotta give you that. She's a G. I respect that. She described it as facilitating, but with the usual due diligence that we have on any type of transaction. That's lovely. That's lovely. Going a bit further, talking about their decision on the CBDC pilot apparently coming mid-year. The Sunday Express asked the central bank about any decisions being made on a CBDC, and their response was, the review of the central bank digital currencies has been proceeding very well, facilitated by IMF technical assistance, including on technical aspects and blah, 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 blah. So by mid-2022, we expect to be very close to a decision on a possible pilot. Boy, that's... We expect to be very close to a decision on a possible pilot. Yeah, this is the biggest nothing sandwich I have ever seen since Joe Biden's executive order on crypto. That's nuts. They basically saying, by mid-2022, we might feel like possibly thinking about it and then potentially bringing it up at a meeting. Like, you with it or not, bro? Meanwhile, our focus is on improving the payment system, the set of arrangements that allow consumers, businesses, and other organizations to transfer funds to one another by promoting more widespread, safe, and efficient electronic financial transactions. Okay. At least they're talking about it. The fact that they're addressing it, the fact that they're bringing it up, discussing it, going over whatever it is they got to review to decide, whatever it is, it's progress, so I'm with it. I like it. That's good. That's great. Keep it moving. So skipping over this section where they just talk about what a CBDC is, it's pegged to the country's fiat, blah, blah, blah. So in the Caribbean, TNT is lagging behind the Bahamas, the Organization of the Eastern Caribbean States, and Jamaica on CBDCs. So 2020, Sand Dollar was launched in the Bahamas. We know about that one. March 2021, after 2 years in deployment, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the central bank of the OECS, rolled out its pilot Dcash, which we saw in the Jamaica thing that was down for like 2 months. It was launched in Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia. I mean, all of this sounds good until you realize that it crashed and was down for like 2 months. I understand technical issues, but bro, 2 months? 2 months? That's nuts. 2021 launch in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Launch in Dominica and Montserrat. Okay. Well, I mean, they're getting around. They definitely making their rounds. Talk about DEX a little bit. Not really much. They just highlighting some of the other CBDCs in the area. It's nothing major specifically has happened. Nothing happened for TNT yet. The Sand Dollar is still bubbling. DEX is doing whatever it is they doing over there. Dcash might be working. So it's still bubbling. We still have a good ways to go. Moving on to the last section here for the unbanked. Now remember, we talked about this with the Jamaican thing as well. In September 2021, the way forward cash transformation in the digital economy done by RBC Royal Bank in partnership with Oxford Business Group noted that TNT relies heavily on cash transactions. Sound familiar? The paper pointed out that 21% of the population was unbanked and relied on cash transactions to purchase goods and services in 2022. 21% of the population was unbanked. 17% of the population is unbanked. Y'all seeing the common denominator, right? People noted that the value of card transactions only accounted for 14% of the GDP in 2018, adding that many smaller businesses do not have the technology to process card payments. So even if you had the card or you were trying to move away from cash, you wanted to do more plastic, you wanted to just swipe everything, many of the smaller businesses aren't even able to accommodate that. They don't have the technology, they don't have the payment processor, or like they don't have the resources available to even accommodate or facilitate card payments. So then they wrap it up down here. For some, diminishing cash use, costly and lengthy payment transactions, tax evasion, and financial inclusion are key reasons for issuing digital fiat. According to the literature, the main benefits for regulators of a well-designed CBDC are improved operational efficiency and prudential surveillance, blah, 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 blah. Enhanced micro blah, which address some of the blah created by blah. Words. It's word jumbo. I mean, they have some points, but it's like, look, y'all really want to deal with the unbanked thing? We got a solution. Like, we got a solution that works already. It's been doing pretty well so far. And I mean, it wasn't down for 2 straight months, but I ain't gonna say nothing. It's just, it is what it is. But if you need an example of something that will work and something that can help the unbanked and something that's being proven right now to fully function all the time, and last but most certainly not least, we have even more FTX news for you. FTX Digital Markets, to be specific, the Nassau Bahamas branch of FTX, the world domination machine. I mean, the crypto and digital assets company that we all know and love. Don't sue me. So apparently they're opening up a commercial center of some sort in prime location in Nassau, Bahamas, and they got some plans for it. And you better believe these plans are definitely going to include ways to help the Bahamian people. Let's take a look. Real quick, I'll just show you all this story. So the coverage of it was actually done by Eyewitness News. I haven't seen coverage of it anywhere else as of yet. This just dropped on a random Wednesday. The news reported it, I think, the following day or the day after. And yeah, so just check it out. So I had recorded like another probably 10 minutes of content, and then I realized that my mic was muted the whole time, so I got to run that whole thing back. So let's actually jump into it now.
Well, the FTX Global Digital Markets company, looking to establish its headquarters here in Western New Providence, the multi-million-dollar project, according to officials who participated in a virtual town meeting with the Town and Planning Committee last night, is expected to bring a world-class vision to the island that will include a 200-plus room resort. The proposal for approval also includes an educational facility, a conference center, and an event space. Officials say once the project gets the green light, it is hoped that it will be completed in about 3 years. This will also mean increased employment opportunities for Bahamians.
With this project, we'll create even more local jobs on top of the 40 we've already created, stimulate the economy, and construct a globally enviable campus that's comparable to your Apples or Googles. The Bahamas made a bold step creating the most comprehensive digital asset regulatory regime in the world, and this is the next step in that vision. We see the global headquarters of FTX as a transformative shift in the employment culture of the country. Together, we'll contribute a meaningful difference, and our headquarters will be at the heart of it all. We recognize that our design plans may slightly change, but we're confident that our commitment to making the Bahamas the world's digital asset capital will benefit the entire country.
Well, company representative Valdez-Russell says the project will also allow Bahamians to get a piece of the economic pie through the leasing or ownership of spaces.
We believe in the empowerment of Bahamians. It's not just lip service, but we look forward to making future announcements that will highlight our commitment to Bahamian entrepreneurs and existing enterprises so that they can elevate their businesses.
There's some nice keywords. That aside, real quick, it's just me. Does it bother anyone else that like none of these people showing their faces like at all? And the people who are showing their faces look bored out of their mind. Like Pop's over here eating something on the side. This one looked like he have 2 windows open, so he ain't even in this meeting. I don't even know what he's looking at. But anyway, let's finish this up.
In addition to that, as we continue to build our space once approved, we look forward to receiving ideas from Bahamian businesses who want to have access to our space and who want to grow their enterprises as well. And so those kinds of thoughts are consistent with both you and I and my colleagues, so that Bahamians own more and are a part of incredible opportunities. We look forward to making those opportunities publicly advised so that everyone has access to be able to submit and be afforded the opportunity to own a piece of whatever it is that their hopes and dreams are for a better Bahamas.
Y'all heard that, right? I got you, just in case you missed it.
Opportunities are publicly advised so that everyone has access to be able to submit and be afforded the opportunity to own a piece of whatever it is that their hopes and dreams are for a better Bahamas.
To own a piece of whatever your hopes and dreams are. Bro, if you don't get to own a piece of whatever your hopes and dreams are for a better Bahamas, boy, you good. You are good. You're good. I gotta give you that. You good. So, just for... That's nuts. That is nuts. I'm sorry. I keep getting distracted. I can't believe they said that. So going into it a bit more, they have a write-up of the story here. FTX is to invest $60 million in HQ commercial center and boutique hotel in the Bahamas. Right now, it says here the world's second largest crypto exchange, which is FTX, is looking to invest around $60 million towards development of a boutique hotel commercial center and its new HQ in the Bahamas. During a town planning meeting Wednesday night, it was noted that FTX Holdings Limited, the real estate holding company for FTX Digital Markets, is seeking approval to develop nearly 5 acres of land at Bayside Executive Park. Now, Bayside Executive Park. And folks, for any and all research, Google is one of your best tools. Like, it is so, as much as people use Google, it's still really underrated. Google, if Google can't give you directly the answers that you need, it can get you 1 to 2 degrees closer. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Executive Park, Nassau, Bahamas. Bayside Executive Park. So, this sandy port right here. This sandy port, Sun Fun. Come down a bit more. So, around here. So, this area. 5 acres. Beachfront. Cold cut. Don't mind me circling. I have no idea how to gauge how big an acre is on this map. So just 5 acres. Just picture 5 big whatever. Anyway. But this is okay. So this is the area where they're going to be developing their 5 acre, or they're hoping to develop their 5 acre FTX campus, I guess you could call it, since they're comparing it to Apple and Google campuses. This is super west, all beachfront. Now I don't know exactly, well, I guess it probably would be through this corner. It would probably be around here. Through there, or somewhere in this vicinity, somewhere around here. But 5 acres. They got 5 acres that they're looking to use to establish this headquarters. A 38-room hotel building for commercial use. Ryan Salami, or Salam. I'm pretty sure it's Salam, but Salami is funnier, so I'm gonna go with that. CEO of FTX Bahamas, the new headquarters. So you heard him say all that good stuff, blah, 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 creating jobs. One thing I must say, I would love to know what these jobs are. I would love to know. So he says here, with this project, we'll create even more local jobs on top of the 40 jobs we have created. I would like to know what the 40 jobs are that were created and what the outlook for future potential jobs actually are. And I want to know all of the jobs that aren't custodial, all of the jobs that aren't hospitality based, all of the jobs that aren't probably construction. Because while it is a good construction contract, it's not enough to say I created jobs for the Bahamian people, you know? That's temporary, that's a band-aid. So let's dig a bit. Like I said before, I completely messed up and I did all of this talking and stuff, so you see these tabs up here. But what I basically did was I went to Google, I looked up FTX Digital Markets because I wanted to dig a bit into the people that were talking in that panel, these guys. I wanted to dig a bit more into them. So FTX official site. But what I wanted to look for was this, the LinkedIn for it, right? So then with FTX Digital Markets, one benefit to digging around into these companies that have to be registered with the government and are closely working with the government and deal in stuff like finance and the finance industry, everyone's gonna be doxxed. Doxxed meaning that they're fully identified, like they're well known, they're very visible, easy to find on the internet. So FTX Digital Markets, 8 employees. They say 14 results but 8 employees. Okay, so we got Valdez Russell already, and we had Ryan Salami. Now this third one here, I saw that Ryan's title here is co-CEO of FDM, and I found it interesting. So then I scrolled down a little bit more and I noticed another name had co-CEO of FDM, and it's this one here, Constance Wang, who's also simultaneously the COO, so the head of operations for FTX, which is the international company. So going into them a little bit more, I came up here, I found Ryan, right? Georgetown U, cool, that's good to know, I guess. So for contact info, not much, just the LinkedIn there. You scroll down, look a bit into his history, and what I found was prior to this, he was head of OTC and APAC at Alameda Research, who is a major player in the crypto space. Alameda is a big name in the crypto space. Here it tells you one of the larger quantitative cryptocurrency trading firms and liquidity providers, managing anywhere from 3 to 5 billion per day across thousands of products. So they pushing. They are pushing. Okay? And he was there for about 2 years. Prior to that, he was at an over-the-counter trading desk at Circle in August 2017. Prime time, okay? Prime time. Just a couple months before that big rush up. Bitcoin's big rush up to almost 20K. Prime time to be at Circle. Amazing time. Prior to that, senior tax accountant. So that was pretty much right out of school. He jumped out the gym straight into that. But actually, no. This was prior to this, because he was in Georgetown U 2017 to 2019. So while he was at Georgetown U, he worked over the counter trading desk for Circle, who was based in Hong Kong. I'm not digging too much. If you want to dig some more, hit me up on Twitter, but I'm not doing it here where you could build a case. Moving on, Constance Wang, COO of FTX and co-CEO of FDM, National University of Singapore, did a bit of digging here, and lo and behold, prior to FTX Digital Markets and FTX positions, she was head of partnerships at Alameda Research, 2019. Alameda Research, 2019 to 2021. Coincidence? She worked at Huobi Global, another big name in the crypto space. I think they had a US subsidiary that got shut down. I think it was HBUS or HBUS. And 2 years at Credit Suisse, who, funny enough, just earlier this week, what was the story? The strategist had said or made an announcement that we're now seeing a shifting of the world financial, monetary, blah, 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 something else. Here it is. So Credit Suisse strategist says we're witnessing birth of a new world monetary order. That's what it was. So they got some stacked backgrounds between both of them. Like I said, they're docs, so it's not like I'm showing you any information that you can't find yourself. All of this is right here for you to find, to look at. LinkedIn, you see the name, it's right there. But lastly, we looked a bit into Valdez Russell, communications leadership and catalyst. And I saw with him, there was a bit more contact info. So we got a little bit into this, the VKR Insights. And I found that this is actually engage and connect with VKR Insights, a Bahamian-owned communications and brand reputation management firm. Honesty, respect, and trustworthiness are the firm's core values as we help individuals and organizations to tell their stories and manage their reputation. Our services: PR, social media management, media relations, crisis communication, marketing consultancy. Right? So this was a perfect play on FTX's part. I must say, this is a beautiful play on their part, because they're hiring a Bahamian face with a Bahamian-owned business, I'm assuming, to be their front-facing person. This is Valdez is running point. He's basically, they hired a Bahamian PR firm. This is their what's the lady name from the show with Kerry Washington, that Scandal, whatever, Olivia Pope. That's it. This is their Olivia Pope. That's what I was going for. It's smart. I can't even lie. It's an excellent move, and it's going to be great aesthetically. It's going to be a great front for the business as they continue to move and develop in the Bahamas. But yeah, that whole whatever your dreams, bro, you better come with some better bars than that. Because that was weak. But nonetheless, coming back to this, the company's owner, Sam Bankman-Fried, has previously said that the Bahamas moved to establish the world's first comprehensive regulatory regime for cryptocurrency and digital assets had encouraged the exchange to relocate to this nation from Hong Kong. I keep popping up. Anyway, like I said, all in all, FTX is gonna do what FTX does. I mean, it is what it is. FTX is FTX. You know, it's FTX. So I just would like some more clarity on the jobs aspect, how the whole spaces thing is going to work with that layer. They mentioned leasing or potentially purchasing, but at the same time it sounded more like a WeWork or a co-working space for entrepreneurs or whatever. Like I'd like some more details. Obviously, we're gonna get them when they're ready for it. But as it stands right now, everything sounds great, but there's no way to tell because there's no real detail. There's no real finality in any of it. Everything is still tentative. They're saying the thing is like 3 years out, yet they already have created 40 jobs and are anticipating more jobs to be created. So I mean, I just want some more detail. I think it could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing, but we're not gonna know until we see what else they got. So it is what it is. And with that, we'll wrap up today's show. Thank you for coming through, kicking it with me for another episode of Crypto and the Caribbean. Make sure, if you haven't already, you hit that like and you hit that subscribe. I think it's over here. I hope it's over here. Otherwise, I just point at nothing. But hit that subscribe and the bell so you don't miss those notifications whenever we drop any of these new episodes. And if you like the conversation, let me know down in the comments below what you think about the DEX airdrop. What you think about commercial banks and TNT not letting people buy their crypto, even though the central bank didn't really tell them to do that. And how do you feel about FTX just coming in and dominating Nassau, Bahamas? Ali's up. But if you are interested in how I really feel about them and you want to talk a bit more about any of these topics, you know where to find me. Easy enough. So, till next time, we link.